Ladyboy.
Oh, bitch.
Girl, I said, are you a? Are you a?
Oh, us too.
Well, there you have it.
Well, there you have it. We're
Like
here.
a virgin touched for the very first time, our very first time on camera, our very first time having our voices recorded. Certainly the first time taking on episode 101 of this here podcast.
Hell, I
Would
didn't
you like
even
to
meet this
elaborate?
person. I didn't even meet this person till today.
What's your name? You, a they, them?
I see your nails are painted. Are you
Are you
non-binary?
non-binary?
Yeah.
We're sipping on our very valid non-binary tea. And we just want to address something really, really quick. The rumors are true. This is unfortunately
Not our first.
not the second,
Not
the
third.
ones, not the twees, not the threes.
This is the
This
fourth.
is the fourth
Fourth.
time that we have sat down to record the first episode of. Oh, we didn't do the intro. My stomach just growled so loud.
That was your stomach? I thought it was mine.
It might have been like
A combo.
a complete.
They locked in.
What kind of combo? Like a 6 piece. Get it? Cause hungry. Well, wait, hold on. We didn't do the intro. We had to do that first.
No, and we have planned this.
Okay,
I keep
okay.
spitting
So
everywhere. My diction's too good.
we had your what?
Yeah.
We
you
had,
heard me, my diction.
We had like this whole episode structure plan that we kind of did sort of do like twice for sure. I think the third time we like changed it. But the one thing for sure. What are you doing?
I'm pulling up the stopwatch on your phone.
Oh, you're right.
I don't have a phone.
Sorry, behind the scenes, breaking the fourth wall.
Meanwhile, this person is bullying me for doing what needs to be done.
And if you donate 1 cent a day, you can stop me from bullying him. All that to say, I think, hold on, give us just a second. All right, ready? Intro. Hey, Gooners.
Hey, baiters.
My name is Adrian.
And I'm Shiloh.
And welcome to the
The
Ladyboy
Ladyboy
Radio
Radio
Hour.
Get your life.
Just to get it out of the way,
Get
because
your
we're not going to
life.
do this every episode. Y'all are just going to have to figure it out. Name and pronouns.
Shiloh. Like, what do you think? What do you think my pronouns are?
You don't want
No,
me to
kidding.
say diva.
My pronouns are he, they. I'm a Libra. Sag rising.
We didn't ask for all that.
Libra, moon.
my name is Adrian, and my pronouns are also he, they.
And tell me about your zodiac signs. Because I did mine as a goof, so now you have to do yours for
Okay,
real.
I guess. I am a double Aquarius, sun and rising, Libra moon. Yes, I meant to Leo.
I forget you're a Libra moon. That makes a lot of sense.
And
About,
then-
like, our dynamic.
Also, something really, really impactful, let's say, is my Venus in Pisces. It's over. It's
She
Pisces season
Piscin'
right now.
All
Well,
over my...
That's why I'm always seeing somebody in March. Not this time though. But like almost every time I start like something with someone, it's in March.
Nobody really. Not anybody this March. You're seeing me right now because I'm sitting next to you.
Unfortunately.
Shut your eyes if you
Okay.
want to look at me, bitch.
But anyway, all that to say, we did already do this and we had like a whole thing of like all the stuff that we wanted to talk about. And then now, why did we keep on doing it? You might ask. We just had like a lot. We ran into a lot of like, oh, this is the reality we're facing, the fantasy. What we thought that we were gonna do isn't necessarily what we're gonna do.
Right. What the gay gibberish machine is saying over here. No,
Oh.
I'm kidding.
It takes one to know one.
Well,
Deborella. That one you heard, right? That was
yeah, that one was definitely you. I can tell where that one. We're gonna have to put like captions that says gurgle because it's so quiet. It's a subtle gurgle.
just like very petite and demure.
Just very demure. I mean,
Well,
that
I
is
wouldn't quite
not-
cough like a man, but
Please. But yeah, so this is the fourth time we're recording this.
Yeah.
Well, because first time you had to leave for work. 20
yeah.
minutes
Okay.
in.
Well, first time it took us way longer than we thought to like set it all up, and then I had to leave for work. So then we tried to do it again, and then we were trying to do this fun thing with like a green screen background instead of our beautiful organic brick wall.
I'll tell you what, it stymied us.
It
Consider me stymied.
oh completely like
Stymied.
so. so beyond stymied, actually, say that. And yeah, it just was a lot of like technological like glass ceilings that we have yet to necessarily break. So
Right.
we decided that instead of like trying to redo that one, we're just gonna talk about something else.
Because we tried to recreate
Well,
the magic.
why
from
don't
the
we give
second
them like a little
recording.
recap of like what we like talked about?
We talked about.
The main thing was we talked about, okay, so here's T. We have a third roommate whose name is Lauren. She's a lesbian. She, her.
You
She's in her
probably hear
room
her chuckling.
with her partner right now. But
Sorry. Also, let's address that elephant in the room.
Oh,
There
yeah.
will be background noise. We live in New York. There will be
completely.
people driving by.
We're also
honking.
roommates, which I don't think we said.
No, because like you asked.
We
what
are
my
in the
name
home.
was.
We are in the, oh,
You asked my
But,
name
okay,
like we hadn't
so-
met before, Mama.
walk with me for a second. So, third roommate, right?
Third roommate.
Both
Total les.
Lauren and Shiloh did either like a TikTok post or commenting on like Lucy's actual post. The Lucy Dacus video for what's it called?
Best guess.
Best guess, right. I was gonna just say guess. The color of my underwear. But that's not the song.
No, she can never write that song.
No, she could not.
Hot take: Charlie XCX could
No.
write "Best Guess" by Lucy
No,
Dacus, but
would
Lucy
she be
Dacus could
cast in the
not
video?
write "Guess." No, she wouldn't be cast in the video. They'd be
Lucy
like,
Dacus would not be in the
"Your
video.
thighs."
Should be a little too square for it. I'm sorry. That was shady. I do mean it though. But basically,
like-
the whole drama with like the music video like thing on TikTok, them being like, oh, this is like an open call for all masks, blah blah blah, and whatever that means. We're not gonna get into it. And
Free me for my person.
it seemed like it was gonna be something that was actually gonna be like an opportunity for people to like get
for
put
positive dialogue.
right, to get put like in the video. And honestly, in hindsight, it still would have been fine if they didn't necessarily like do that and they just did like a regular casting, but they still represented people. What
I
ended
think
up
there could have
happening
been
is that
5
it just
people
was
cast from the
so
open casting. Just 5.
yeah, like just like feature like a little
Like,
bit
pretend.
more.
Pretend that it wasn't a marketing
In
stunt.
case you like have not like caught up, like this is old, and we are just recapping.
Yeah, because
here's the
we
picture
recorded this like 2 weeks ago.
of the group like photo of it. It just is insane. But basically,
Clock.
Charlotte made a TikTok. Lauren like made like a comment on the like official like Instagram post, and Mama, the discourse that happened was just like too much.
No, because the children forget. We're not doing discourse anymore.
The literal children, it's
The
crazy.
literal children forget we're not doing discourse.
You'll have someone that's 12 years
So-
old that's like
Like
I'm
defending
gonna say
their
something
white.
mean.
Please. Can I say something
Someone who is
mean?
queer in theory but not in practice yet, and that's
Yet.
okay. That's okay. There's a lot of very queer things that I don't think that you need to be doing at 12. But
Wake it up.
I think you just need to live in that context, and for us to be like grown ass like queer people and to get like talked down to or like have our like behavior policed by someone who's 12 and like knows like one other out gay person in their life at all.
Yeah.
That's just not giving. So that's sort of what we like talked about.
Well-
we tend to go down this rabbit hole a lot,
And there
so
were-
we will
yes.
circle back eventually.
Of course.
The topic of the genderqueer, but
I also want to wake up my favorite comment that I got in the
Oh,
discourse.
Mama, please
where
wake it
people
up. Please wake
accused
it
me
up.
of misgendering people because I use the term "futch," which doesn't. That's not a gender term to me because it doesn't mean like boy or girl slash.
also gender is
another-
fake. So at the end of the day,
It's all jazz until you make a gender sexuality combo that like young queers don't like, and I'm like, oh, now it's too complicated. Now it's too hard. Now it's not jazz anymore. Now it's like what? Come on, wake it up. But
now it's
this
Collier.
person commented on my TikTok and said, "I'm 33, an elder queer chiming in to say you sound ridiculous."
Wake that up.
I
Wake that
fell
up.
out of my fucking chair. I was having such a bad day.
33.
33.
Elder queer. Mama. Oh, hold on.
Elder
Let's
than
talk
who?
about an actual elder queer that we met the other day. Okay, so the other night we
Are you gonna talk
live
about
in New York
Allison?
City. Yes.
Yeah.
We live in New York City. We went down to Pieces Bar. Shout out Pieces Bar. It was
Shout
on a
out
Thursday,
Pieces.
so shout out the Thursday girls.
Skywalker.
Jasmine Rise and Skywalker. Yes.
Yeah.
Jasmine Rise, LaBeija.
La
Thank you.
Beja, mother of the house
we went.
of La
we,
Beja.
we had a great time.
Mm.
But we met. a very interesting lesbian, right? Or did she not identify
Well, no, I think she said she was straight.
straight?
That's why I was like, when you said an elder queer, I was like, Mama.
Okay, so we were
she had
talking to a
Kohl's haircut.
closeted
She had a
girl.
Kohl's Cash haircut. That
Yeah,
does
but she was
not
talking
mean
about doing.
she's...
Okay, when you go to a drag show and you talk about doing anal, and that like
Mama,
being your like favorite.
I know so many straight women who do anal.
Yeah, but and
Actually,
she
I
looked
don't
like
know
that
a
and
lot
she
of
acted
straight
like
women.
that. That was a queer person.
Well, and she also talked about her time with the Velvet Underground and like how she was of Kurt Cobain's time, and I was like, maybe you are a little gay. She said she had a husband.
As do many lesbians.
That's true. Wake it up.
Wake that up.
Wake it up.
But no, like we
Yeah.
just we're talking to this like probably lesbian, definitely drunk, definitely middle aged.
She asked us for a light, no less than four.
Well, because she
times.
kept on asking for a light and then she wouldn't actually light it because she was like, I
Well,
think
no,
a little bit too
I
drunk.
would surround
for
her
it.
to block the wind. I would watch her light
Oh.
it, and then
And the
she would
wind
just be like,
kept-
"Yeah, so like I'm from Kurt's time, and I, like
She
Minneapolis,
just wanted it
and
out. She just wanted it out.
and then realized it was out, and she would go, "You got a light?" And like we had to literally, Adrian faked a phone call.
Oh my god, I
And
did.
ran away.
Well,
you
'cause
ran away. You
We
dumb
were.
faggot.
This was like we were about to go to Stonewall at that point, so we were like trying to leave, but like
yes, we were outside.
yeah, like we were literally like on our way. We had left pieces. We had closed out, and then we were in the little street like right outside.
We were smoking up with Jacob, another friend we made, because he gave us
Yes.
all his free fireball.
And then we were
Whoop.
bucking.
And then we were
Uh,
bucking out on the street because we were drunk out of our minds. Well, because one of the two queens who hosts that Thursday show at Pieces,
Sky. Yeah.
Sky, Miss Sky, she like came
She,
around and
like,
was like, I love your
immediately, like-
energy, and gave us a round of shots on the house.
When we had just sat down. Oh, and then shout out to
Literally
Joe from Pieces. I know that you're
Hey,
listening
Joe.
and you're watching, Joe. I know
And
that it
the
was
other
your
one,
first
I want
night.
to say Matt,
Yeah, I think it
the
was
shirtless
Matt.
twink.
Joe, the one that was really tall, Mama. It was his first night, but let me tell you,
Damn, he was bucking too, almost.
he was kind of.
Yeah, first night.
But no, just like shout out to Pieces Bar. We had such a great time.
We
The
needed
service
it.
was so delightful, like
Table
so
service
nice.
at the drag gig.
Table service.
Table
Mama.
service at the drag gig.
Those drinks were crazy.
No, and we had all worked all day, and I did not want to.
We had
and the fact that we
long
got
days.
that table in the
We got a
corner,
nice table. We got a free shot from Skywalker. It was
and then a man
peach Grey
from
Goose.
Peach
It
Graders have
was
never.
kind of serious. It was kind of serious. But
my
all that
gosh,
to
dude.
say, it's been 10 minutes. That's what we talked about in the first episode. What we
Right.
we literally were like, let's talk about something else because that's not like really fresh anymore. And here we
Well,
are.
now,
just-
now we're talking about what
gabbing
happened
about
to
it.
us literally 2 days ago, Mama.
Well, what we're talking about now is the topic for this week, which is something that we have been doing the deepest dive of, which is all of the watchable Sailor Moon content that there
Oh my
is available in the world. So here's the
Well,
thing.
wait, can I
This
give
is
my
the little-
history and how I dragged you into it?
Well, I want to give the context.
Okay. Well, what's the context? If not that, Mama.
You're gonna tell my life story of my immigration.
Oh no, not that.
That's what I thought. So
Sorry, white man comes in yelling.
not you being like, what backstory?
What are you talking about?
The actual
Yeah.
context of like how this relates to me.
You're right.
He showed me Sailor Moon.
There's
So
a
in his
fuzz on
mind,
your mic.
a fuzz,
You're welcome. I caught up for you. Keep
a
going.
cab. But essentially, spoiler alert, I am not born and raised here in the allegedly United States of America. I was born in Venezuela. I moved to South Florida with my family when I was 8. But all that to say, I had very little friends when I was in Venezuela, and there were a lot of like cool things that people would be watching that I wouldn't be, because I would just go home and play with myself, because I was, well, not like play with myself, but I would like do like my own thing.
I would go home
And so like
dork
content
it.
wise, like I wasn't necessarily right. So I was a child. Wasn't like
You said
necessarily
it.
Chimo.
Me,
Wasn't
Chimo.
necessarily
You, Chimo.
like consuming the exact same content. Not by that far of like a margin, but the margin became much wider when I moved to the US, and I was like, I not only do not necessarily speak the language that is being spoken in these shows, but all the shows that I was watching were now 2, 3 seasons ahead because y'all don't have to wait for a dub here. Y'all just watch the episode when it comes out. And so a lot of things that I was watching, primarily a lot of anime that I was watching, I like stopped at the age of 8. And then I, in like trying to catch up and everything, like I had about maybe like 2, 3 years of like sort of lost media. And I tend to have like an opposite like response to FOMO, like where it's like if you guys are all talking about something that I don't know about, girl, bye. And so next thing I know, like there's a lot of things that I like just didn't get the chance to get on like the bandwagon of. A lot of things being things that I know I would still like and do. One of them being Sailor Moon.
Amen. And now let me give my context, which is less interesting.
He was jumping, itching, and waiting to tell his story.
Well, no, I just because I think this Sailor Moon to me like connects to early gender indie
Say
shit
that.
for me.
Say that.
Because when I was a little tiny bebe, and my mom would take us to Hollywood Video.
Shout out Kathy.
Shout out Kathy. I love you, Mom. I love you. She's a great lady. So is my dad.
He's watching.
Well,
right
he's
now.
not a great lady, but he's great too. But we would go to Hollywood Video, and despite not having seen any of the other like Sailor Moon content, I picked up Sailor Moon R, the movie. So I saw that for the first time.
Gay.
We'll
get into it.
Gay.
We'll get into it.
The gayest shit ever, and my mom finally had to put like she had to put a stop to it because I had rented it like 14 times. She was like, "Why would we like you can't keep renting the same movie." But like just the idea, it's the first time I'd seen kind of like a little like gay boy.
Well, that's so gay.
It's so gay, and the new dub, which is the one we're watching, we had to watch. Was it the Sailor Moon R movie that didn't have a dub, like an English dub?
I think it was the S movie.
The S movie, which we watched in Japanese, and that was really refreshing.
That was fierce.
Because it's always better. The voice acting is always better.
Yeah, we prefer it, but most of the time that we are watching Sailor Moon, except for right now, which we'll also get to when we're watching Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, but generally speaking, most of the time when we're watching Sailor Moon, we're under the substances of
my friend the Bobo.
Mary Jane. And so
Bobarella.
/ we're doing like other things, like we're maybe like making dinner and stuff, and so we watch the dub.
Not the original one.
We watch like the one that you can get now, which is the Viz dub, which is also the one that was.
Write this down.
Shout out to all the performances, like they're so good, and also the main sort of like gig of it is the fact that it is like more faithful to the original in the sense that like the original dub that like you guys, if you like watched it like when you were young, is what you're probably familiar with, like where they changed the names to be like American, but also they like censored Serena a lot of like
and Damien and
relationships, like, you know, the two lesbians that are canonically together, one of them being a borderline he/him lesbian,
wake that up,
are turned into like
the 11-year-olds could never. They make them cousins.
Like, which is again just like not in the spirit of Sailor Moon, which is like just so deeply faggy, especially what we're on right now, which is Sailor Moon Super / Super S. Much debate
on the pronunciation,
but there's
but I think Supers is dumb.
There is somebody well,
Supers, because it was Sailor Moon S.
Tell her
it wasn't Sailor Moon's, but it because the season before Super S Supers, which is being debated.
He's really bothered by this, you guys.
It makes me mad because it's Sailor Moon S, not Sailor Moon's, but it's Sailor Moon Supers.
Okay,
not Super
but
S.
It's Sailor Moon S because it's Sailor Moon Super. But then the whole thing about what we're watching right now is that it's both Usagi and Ryusa. So it's more than one super. So it's supers. So it actually does make sense. Does it sound great? No. But then what the fuck does R stand for? Return? Girl, save it.
No, I still don't know.
Girl, save it.
I spent like an hour on the wiki like, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Sense.
Like trying to hack the mainframe, and I still don't know.
Hack into the A-frame.
Hack into the A-frame.
As Lauren says.
As the roomie once said.
Shout out. But
Sailor Moon Pretty Guardian is what we are spending most of our time
watching. That's what we're watching right now, which is the live action adaptation of the anime.
That's why it
I
might
feel like we
not
were-
sound familiar to many people.
No,
who are,
because
like,
this one was
fans.
not.
'Cause it-
We're like in full like info dump like tea right now.
Locked in.
Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon is a live action series that they did that was never distributed in the US, so there was never like a dub or sub made of it at all. We watched a whole like video essay on it.
And
I
then we
don't
were
remember the name of the creator, but we're gonna put the screenshot up here.
And a link will be in bio or whatever.
Link in bio.
Link in bio mail. Anyhow.
And oh yeah, so we were watching like a video essay that like took me out so much, babe.
No, I know it would.
We watched like a video essay on it, talking about how like it's even kind of hard as a non like Japanese speaker to really do like a lot of research on it, because there isn't a lot on like the internet about it, like beyond just like I guess like straight up like episode guide stuff that would have
Right.
been still in Japanese, which doesn't give that much, especially in terms of like popularity. We know it must have been popular enough because they made like the musicals and like other shit that like seems like it like came like from it,
Well,
because the
I
musicals
feel
were
like
like
the
an
musical
extension of
stage shows were already happening.
they were, but then
by
they
that
like
point.
there was like more. I keep like going to the mic. They did like more stuff after. They like talked about in the video about how they like did like more stuff like
Well, I remember
once
them
the show
saying the
came
girls
out,
from
that
the
was,
live
like,
action
were like
did
in.
the live musical.
But then like didn't they go on to also do like other performances like as the cast?
Girl,
too?
I don't know, girl.
Whatever. Point
No, I don't
being,
know, girl. They
it like was
have-
never like dubbed or subbed at all, so like it's not like officially necessarily
Right.
like known in all of the Sailor Moon
Also, wake this up.
like sphere.
It's not canon because it's an adaptation.
That too.
So it's not really in the canon timeline. Like there's stuff that happens that does not exist.
yes, generally they start at where the original like anime starts, which is was
Dark
it-
Kingdom, right?
yeah, the Dark Kingdom like arc, loosely. But what like really like got us hooked into it is that because it's obviously like y'all should do yourselves a favor and look up the YouTube video that just has all the transformations and the other one that has all the attacks.
Please.
Visually, the visual effects, they are crazy. They
They're
are
awful.
insane. But because this was like in like the early 2000s and they didn't have that much of a budget. So yeah, it's not that great. But because they knew that what they had to focus on was what they could actually achieve, which was they like honed in more on like
the character driven stuff.
yeah, and the like relationships and dynamics like between the girls slash like their like lives at home and stuff like that. So it's a very, very cool. We are watching it thanks to I forgot the person who
Sea of Serenity.
Sea of Serenity. Thank
The
you.
person who made
shout
that
out Sea of
dub.
Serenity.
It is the dub that you
Somebody,
or the,
like-
not the dub, the sub. The
Yeah.
person like
Somebody like went in. Well, Sea of Serenity went
of Serenity.
in, watched the whole entire thing, translated it, and then like went in and put like all the subs in there. And the subs are like fierce because they're
They're
like
good.
in like a cool font and the colors and stuff. They also like, you know, that thing where like subtitles are not just like at the bottom, they'll sort of move around, or they'll just be like a little more like integrated into the rest of the frame. They do that, which I think is so slap.
And this person
I
didn't
appreciate
get
it.
paid to do this.
Not at all. Just
and
like
so it's just like
a full,
true
like, labor of love,
appreciation
completely.
for the media, which otherwise
shout
to
out
like
Sea of Serenity.
a U.S. audience, we never would have watched it. We never would have gotten to see it. And I am
Completely.
so thankful because
It's
it's
really fun.
bad in the good ways.
But also
It's
it's good because
good.
they like cast these girls. They really went for like who has the right vibe and who has the right essence, as opposed to like who could give the best performance. Because a lot of the girls, it's their first time, and the first few episodes, like you can kind of see them start to get their toes wet, like as far as the acting goes. Get your like or like feet wet, I guess. Girl, whatever. You know I'm
toes.
not from this country.
Full toes.
Y'all shit. Oh, y'all be making all that shit up
That- no,
about
that is-
about foot in the water. Girl, what?
Mama, you were thinking too
Oh, what?
deeply about toes. Is what I
Too
think
deeply
happened
about
there.
toes.
You had a fruity.
But all that to say, we are watching a lot of Sailor Moon right now. We are particularly watching Sailor Moon Supers, and we are also watching Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. and it's just great. And
Well, let's
circling back to the whole thing about it being like so like gay though.
It is so insanely gay because the whole thing, for those of you who aren't watchers of Sailor Moon or don't plan on enjoying it,
You should be. It's fierce.
First of all,
it's
content warning. There's a few elephants in the room we must address if you're going to go watch the original anime. In the manga, the original manga, the main character and her love interest, who is like the ultimate gender envy for me,
14 and 16.
14 and 16.
Mind you, they are
In the
the
90s.
reincarnated version of themselves in a past
lives.
life where they are fated to be lovers.
Right.
So it's a little less weird too. But again, like 14, 16 is okay. I believe that this is a matter of like a mistranslation. The thing about like the age gap in the beginning of the anime, I think.
Well, no, because in the Japanese one, he's fully a college student. Like he's a freshman in college. He's supposed to be like there's supposed to be like a 7-year age difference.
Well, but I
between
understood
them
that came
versus-
from like discrepancy in like a comparison of like what like each like phase of school is called, and that like I don't believe that it was meant to be as wide of a gap as it was. Like I think it was something that got like lost in translation.
No, I think it is.
I think I read that somewhere.
I don't know if that's true. We'll look it up. Well, there's some of
Point
those
being.
translations that, mama, like, there's a couple instances of near child-adult relationships.
Or like the heavy implication of.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's never... Watch at your own discretion. It's from the 90s.
It's not that
It's
bad.
not that bad.
It's not that bad.
You just
this
need to
is
be
still like a children's anime, so
Yes.
it's not.
It's
It doesn't get like.
yeah.
It's not insane in that way, but when you watch as an adult, you kind of clock.
You're like,
You clock the tea
"Oh,
a little bit
you
more.
clock the tea a little bit. But anyway,
Um,
these characters are all super
but,
gay.
but it's well inherently, Usagi has a relationship with all the other girls that is like so inherently like
And that's Sailor Moon for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
Her name is
Ve-
Usagi.
very 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 queer.
Yeah.
And I think
She's
a lot
got
of it
her
also comes to
boyfriend and her polycule.
some of it is also, I
Genuinely.
think, cultural, because something that I read a lot about East Asian cultures is that, like, they really put a lot more stock into, like, do you identify as gay or not, and less about, like, the way that you behave. And so even though, like, socially, like, there are still, like, stigmas about, like, gender and sexuality in that way, it's a little bit, this is not to say that it's not still hard and complicated and difficult, especially because no two cities are the same, no two nations are the same, but like
Heyo.
aesthetically there seems to be a little bit more of like a leeway in like how much you can kind of like bend and like play around like with stuff, as long as like it's a little bit more discreet. Sailor Moon still fully does have like, this is a she her and this is another she her, and they are
And
dating
they're kissing on the mouth.
and they kiss. So there is still that, but they still play around with like a lot more. Like right now in Supers, there's the three main like sort of like villains that
Oh my
we
God,
see
yeah.
are three faggots.
3 faggots.
Well, 2 faggots and then one
T-slur.
non-binary, like I guess canonically more of like a he they situation, but like habitually, consistently cross-dresses for the gig when they're trying to get the
Dick. When they're trying to get dick.
yeah, oh yeah, because that's the other thing, is
Protects
that the other
everyone's
two,
dream.
please,
It's ridiculous, guys.
the
You
other
gotta
two
watch
are
it.
constantly vaguely talking about the women that they're targeting,
Yes.
whereas Fisheye
Fisheye.
is
No
like,
joke,
no,
Fisheye.
I want the man, and then
puts
cross-dresses,
on the
gets in a
drag.
beautiful gown, which is essentially the same, like, it's not like they suddenly like appear, like they look the same.
Yeah.
They're just now like wearing a dress instead of the like turquoise like
Puffer
puffer jumpsuit.
Jumpsuit with a little pink fish. Like in
It's
the middle.
amazing.
It's awesome.
I have never felt my gender and my vibe more like represented on screen than that. It's
No,
crazy.
Like
It's
it's
so,
really,
so
really
good.
insane.
But
that's
the-
how
yeah,
I felt
like-
about Zoisite. Is it Zoisite and Kunzite?
Yes.
There is a
in the original two
two men.
two
who-
men.
They're villains.
This little
But they
twink
love
and a
each other.
twink are like
Flower
canonically
twink, flower powers.
together, and they like it's not addressed in a weird way. The girls also talk about sexuality because we have two of the Sailor Guardians, Michiru and Haruka, are the lesbian couple in the Outer Guardians. Haruka being like a very like mask presenting would have
Everyone-
definitely been cast in the Best Guest music video.
Please, Mama,
well, because the
call
clap.
that a callback.
But yeah,
I was gonna say something
very
about
very
their
queer,
teas.
and they talk about when we first get introduced to her, like
Everyone
there's
thinks
a
that
lot.
that's a man.
There's just like a lot of he him, and there's a lot of discussion about this person's gender and also this person's sexuality
Because they all want
and
to fuck him.
relationship with their partner. It's so crazy. It's so cool. Also canonically, like something that the creator of the manga did is that in the designs of like the girls, but also especially the villains, straight up just like from like the runway of like Fashion Week around the world. So like canonically, it's like high fashion that is being shown on these people.
Even the girls in their like civilian clothes.
Yeah, no,
they're
completely.
It's always like
Gucci,
full, yeah,
like something
Prada,
crazy, like full,
Mama.
like oh, like this is someone just like drew out like all the runway designs that they saw.
yeah.
Like
This
it's
person's
so,
wearing
so fierce.
red bottoms.
So
like, it's crazy.
if you watch Drag Race like we do, encyclopedic knowledge, you'll know that there's been a lot of Sailor Moon or like Sailor Moon like reminiscent like references.
There's been a
because
lot of
it's
anime
fashion.
girlies.
Oh, completely. But like also like the
let's
non
make
like
it up.
anime girlies like too, like it's such a like a big like reference, like I think in fashion as well.
It really does. I don't know. I feel like Sailor Moon is the great equalizer. I think it's really accessible for people who are
And there's-
scared to start anime.
And there's
especially to
so
my
many
girly
adaptations
pops.
that have different vibes. Like the original 90s anime, you have
Wake it up.
you have Crystal, which is sort of like a reboot-ish from 2014.
The
which
problem with
then,
Crystal.
well, which starts out rough, but then it gets better, and then it becomes the most like modern stuff that we have, which is the two latest movies, Cosmos and Eternal.
Yes.
You have
true.
the live action. You have live shows that they do. Like right now, there's a tour in North America, I'm sure, of the musicals that like they also do. Like there's a lot of different, or you can read the manga.
Get into it. You
like
could
there's a
read the
lot
manga.
of different ways, like depending on
It's
like
history.
how you're more inclined to get into the Sailor Moon of it all. The
And
movies
also,
are great.
Wake it
The
up.
movies are great.
Let's be honest. The plot not hard to follow. Not even a little bit, because
Yeah.
it's made for the children,
Well,
and also
Yeah.
the dialogue is a little, especially in the dub. The dialogue is on
if
the
you're
nose.
watching the
It's great.
like one of the series, there is a lot of like, well, I mean, especially like in the original like the 90s anime, there's a lot of fluff and like a lot of filler.
A lot of filler.
If you're watching any of the movies, they're meant to be standalone, so you don't have to have seen really the show that much to kind of
Do yourself
follow.
a favor and go watch R right now. It's beautiful. It's a great flick.
It's yeah.
So is the
it's
S
great.
movie.
Very very queer.
Like
The
the gayest shit you've ever. I'm sure it's past.
the
20
first season of
minutes.
Sailor Moon is so good. You know, it's been a minute. Okay, so we've been talking for a while. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna get into some silly nonsense during our break, and then we're gonna come back.
We're gonna come back.
More on Sailor Moon later.
More on Sailor Moon later.
Let's take a break.
Wow, we're back.
Wow, we're back and we're
We're
looking
back.
the same. Nothing
from
has
our-
changed.
Back from our first ad break ever, where we had so many ads from
Oh,
so
mama.
many sponsors.
Y'all heard that? Yep.
Yup.
Yep.
Clock.
Let me swirl my empty glass of wine.
Mama, I need some water. Well, if you are listening to the audio version,
You might not be privy to the visuals that are currently being featured on your little screens, but we are indeed in snazzy little fits because we did just film some of the footage for the little opening theme intro.
yeah,
You
there
guys
was a
know all
lot
about
more,
it
like,
'cause you guys just saw it.
P&V than I was anticipating. You didn't prepare me for
Just like
on-set
Mikey Madison, I don't
nudity.
believe in intimacy coordinators. This is a joke. I actually am like really like upset and bothered that she said that. We'll talk about that in a different episode.
Will we ever talk about? Well, you haven't seen the movie, so you got to see it.
No, because I don't want to.
Well, for those of you who don't know,
Sorry.
we're talking about Honora. It's a good movie, but
The Oscars are canonically tonight. If you guys want to like dox us and like know exactly like when it is that we're filming this, yeah, they're
Yeah.
actually on the air right now. Clock that T.
oh
It's-
really?
Yeah, it is 8:30 Sunday, March 2nd. If you guys really, really must need to know.
Well, then we should honestly. You want to pull up some noms? Talk about them real quick.
No.
Well, because if Amelia Perez wins anything, I'm burning the place down. Like I'm calling a bomb threat on the building.
So anyway, yeah. So we just recorded some silly shit.
Yeah, a lot more nudity
Hard
than I was
boundary.
expecting.
No Oscars. I'm sorry about it up, but
A lot more nudity than he briefed me for.
a little bit more.
And I
But
was
you know,
in my briefs, if you know what I mean.
the Pelican briefs. Um, in the break, there were also substances consumed. Let that be that.
Yeah, before we hit play, we should have. Well, here's the tea. When we did the last recording that no one heard, not
The
the one
lost
before or
sessions.
the one before, but the most recent.
For real,
Lost.
for real, for real, for
For
real.
real. The Patreon exclusive.
The Patreon exclusive, mama.
The Patreon exclusive. That
The
no one's
second
ever
enough
gonna
of you
do.
little faggots start listening and watching to this, I
listening
will-
and watching to this,
I
mind
will
you.
be
You said watching to this.
xenophobia. The second there's enough of y'all for us to have a Patreon, oh mama, trust and believe.
I'll show a hole on that.
As of recording this, we are not made aware of any problematic policies that they have. If that changes in the future,
I do think
it will not be
people are-
Patreon. Might be the OnlyFans.
I do.
That
know
one is confirmed, not good.
I do know that people are
What do you
switching
know?
away from Patreon and using other services, but I don't know what the tea is. And you know, I usually know if there's like something afoot because I'm a gossip monger.
Here's a scared little white boy. What was the thing that you wanted to talk about? You
What
said you
I
wanted to talk
wanted
about something
about?
else. Yeah. You said you had
Me?
something.
Little me.
Yeah. Did it? Sorry, give us a second.
No. Whispering it didn't help because I don't know
Okay.
what you're talking about. Here's tea. If I say that I want to talk about something and then smoke a bunch of weed and then we
This
get
was
back on
after.
mic- This was after.
This was after.
Mama.
We were like, we're gonna get on. We're gonna talk about. We're just gonna be like, hey, and then we have something else that we're gonna talk about at the end. But there was a secret third thing that we were gonna talk about in the middle.
Well, Mama, it's the secret ingredient. We'll never know.
Bueno,
We'll never know because I don't remember. Listen, my RAM is very limited.
a ram.
It's
like a little Billy Goat.
This is
It's
a
a
gay
little Billy Goat.
podcast.
This is a gay podcast.
Two gay people talking about
Ooh.
Drag Race. How did you come up with that?
Shout out to Darby and Alexis, friends of the pod.
Friends of the pod.
yeah.
Honestly, dream guests.
Dreamcast like boots.
So
Oh my
second
god.
episode, Darby and Alexis.
Darby and Alexis are gonna
Where
be
are they
here.
from? Are
friends
they in
of the
LA?
pod.
I feel like they're in LA.
Yeah, they are now. Yeah.
Here's the thing about New York
used to be
versus LA.
Chicago. Let's talk about it.
No. Well, here's the thing.
You've been to LA?
No. I don't know anything about LA. I know
Are you
it's the city of
are you known
angels.
for your looks?
and my opulence?
Yeah, like are
in
you
LA?
known like to be opulent?
Well, no, not in LA. But here in New York. Come on. Oh my god, Lauren's here.
Oh my god.
Background ASMR from the lesbian.
Background ASMR that you can't hear.
They're gonna hear it. Guaranteed.
They're gonna hear it.
They're gonna hear it.
Did you guys hear that? Comment
I'm the
below.
audio engineer, mama. Well, that's a really... I'm using that term extremely liberally. I get the
He works pro
fakest
bono
degree.
for sure.
You said I work for...
Pro bono?
Oh, pro bono. I thought you said for Bono. And I was like,
That would be weird.
no, like...
Let's talk about something actually. Why am I still wearing these shoes?
Please.
That's not what I want to talk about.
Well, clock the... Here's something about manhood that people don't tell you. Is that when you're lacing up your knee-high latex boots, you will zip your leg hair in there.
Lacing up, but then a zip.
You know what I mean? Like you're slipping them on, you're getting them in there, and you zip up your leg hair. And I have. It's a.
When you get shoes that fit,
Was that a reference?
no, I was just saying that like the shoe didn't fit you.
No,
That's my
it
shoe.
didn't. It didn't fit.
We were we were sharing shoes for the shoot.
And my shoe is, spoiler alert, many sizes smaller. I feel.
Yeah.
What size shoe are you in women's?
11.
Yeah. See, I'm a 9.5. I'm an 8 in men's. I got little dainty feet.
You're a little boy.
I'm
Well,
tall.
That was
I'm
a really
tall and
fierce
powerful.
anecdote, actually.
About what?
What, like you just shared?
About my feet?
Yeah.
Why
It's just
are
like
you
one of those
so
things that
into
you
me?
like don't know. No, like it's just like one of those things that you don't like think about like until it
My feet being
happens and like
teeny?
you're there.
Well, also my hands are really small. Let's do that thing that homosexuals do. Let's compare hand sizes.
I don't want to.
Come on, mama. Ooh, do it with enthusiasm. See, my hands are so much smaller than yours.
And clammier too.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so what I
wish.
was gonna say,
You'd be blessed to be my guest. I'll say that much.
we do live in the same home.
She's honking Bobo
Um,
in the kitchen.
Stop.
Can I have some of that?
No.
Okay, so while he's terrorizing our roommate,
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some
what
Bobo.
I was gonna say is that oh my god, the level of unprofessionalism far too much. I think we smoked a little too much before we filmed this. What I wanted to talk about with you guys is like why we started the podcast in the first place. Is we wanted to have well, tell them
Well,
why.
it's, guys,
why
it's
did we
super-
start it?
Well, stop speaking over trans voices. Just kidding. You're literally a teaser in a different way, but hold my earring. Also, does anyone smell that weird smell? Anyone? I'm not. it's
What
not
smell?
Yeah,
Okay, so no one smells
the
it.
audience.
They can't smell it.
Let me ask the audience. Smell-o-vision. I was asking if you guys.
This was
smell
supposed to be
what
a short segment, by the way.
I
But
can't be honking Bobo on camera.
but
We have
please.
to censor this. This is this funny cigarette.
Can I cross really fast? I'm gonna sit on the couch.
Mama, you are crossed.
You're
No, please
cross.
cross.
Y'all are drinking and smoking out here.
Feel
addicts.
free to go under or over. Well, I would
You
go
think
over.
I'm gonna go under that?
Yeah.
Absolutely not, divas.
So let's learn. But anyway, we started this podcast because it's super easy and fun to be gay right now. It's so easy and fun to be gay. I would say it's easier to be gay right now than it is to be anything else. It's so easy. Being trans right now is like so chill and regular and like, and it's super easy to get your meds and stuff. But in case it's not,
okay, but is it easy?
no, but it's like so easy and chill. It's so fun and it's so easy. But this is, and we are luckier than most gay people
Mm-hmm.
and queer people to live in one of the most like cities
We as gay people don't always get to choose where we live. Thankfully, we did.
or who we live with.
And we are in a safe. We're never going to finish this. You
Please
literally
go.
were like,
Please
this
go.
should only
Please
be
go.
like a
Please
5
go.
minute long. Okay.
I didn't say 5. I said 15. Can I braid these?
Okay. This
No.
is. Let's wrap this up. Basically, the reason why we started this podcast is because we wanted to have a space to talk about stupid gay shit. Check. And then we also wanted to use whatever platform we managed to like
Grow.
grow, like build up,
Develop.
scam, cheat, lie for.
Show hole for.
We can like gather donations to queer orgs that are helping the cause and helping the fight, especially to our queer siblings that are less fortunate and and find themselves in either states, cities, or just like places where it is not as safe and will not be as safe for as long as it will be for us here in New York City.
If you're a trans minor listening to this, first of all, turn it off. This is for adults. But second of all, I'm sorry. And I love
Why
you.
would they be in the mining shaft right now?
the Chilean miners coming out?
And
The
why they gotta be
trans-
Chilean?
Well, you know
He's
about
so
that?
racist
Well,
to
no,
me, you
do you know
guys.
about the Chilean miners?
Yeah, I
When the
do.
mine shaft collapsed, but they all.
Yeah.
Or
We're not from the
where's
same country, but like I know what
Victoria?
happened.
So I was thinking,
Victorious. I think we all sang. So
yes.
all that being said, the org that we will be supporting, highlighting and uplifting and validating for these next few episodes is the Ali Forney Center. in a second, once we decide that this little charade is over, we're gonna cut to a little bit more of an informative like little segment about what they do.
And the people who recorded that did not honk on Bobo, so it will be succinct,
That being said,
beautifully said.
against my better judgment, do you have any parting words?
Why are you? First of all, why are you such a hater? Is my question for the audience. Let me ask the. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I am
What's the thing?
an
Say
amateur
that.
engineer, so if in the comments you have any advice about why
If you
this
think you know better, then definitely tell us.
why the setup sucks, please let me know.
Completely let us know.
Also, we're gonna do a song of the week.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was the third thing that we were gonna talk about. Was the song of the
Mama,
week.
you gotta
What is your
trust
song
me.
of the week?
My song of the week. Can I do two? I know that's like not the rule, but we're making it up, so I'm gonna do two because they're very different vibes. And I'm gonna ramble a little about them.
Okay, so say
First
them.
one, Perfect Stranger.
He's narrating.
FKA Twigs from Eusexua. You've heard
Say
it. It's a
that.
banger. Watch the music video. That's all I have to say. The second one, I'm gonna say Freebird 2 by Parquet Courts, which is from an album that came out in 2017, so it's a little like aged, but it's an album about
2017.
aged. I was a freshman in college, but I was like, this is the album I used to listen to when I was mad at the government, so I'm revisiting it because they're like everything's bad. And there's a sequel to Freebird 2, and it's a banger. Go listen to it. That's mine. My two. You go ahead.
Say that.
You can do two also.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll do two for the equality of it all.
It takes
Pitches. I would say one of them would definitely have to be Disease, Lady Gaga. It's not like, I know we moved on to Abracadabra, which I like love and I live for, but I was listening to them both the other day and then I said, oh my God, Disease really is that girl. So that's the one that I've been like listening to a lot. I'm also deep, so deep in the Kate Bush like tea of it all right now, especially. And the one that I would say that I am like bumping like nonstop would actually have to be Cloud Busting. It's really, really good.
Is it
Just like a little
busting?
infinite. Cloud Busting?
Why did I think it was bursting?
No, it's busting.
She about to bust.
But no, it's based on this book that she read, which is based on like a real like story of this like kid and his dad like built this like weather machine or whatever. If you know about the book or the story and you're like mad because I don't like remember what it is, then like I am so sorry. Cry to your mom about it. Point
What's your
is,
second one?
it's a
Oh, well, finish
that
it.
that was my second. Sorry,
No. I thought that was your first song. What was the first one?
my first one was Disease.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
He don't listen to me, you guys.
No, I just forget stuff. Oh, and I do want to say the faggy bartender from my job booted me off the music today, which already he did ask and I said yes. So maybe I'm the problem.
Where do you work?
But then he at a coffee shop. We both are baristas. We didn't mention that, but we're
But
both baristas.
his shop is like in like a
Food hall.
food court type situation. So the speaker rights are like sort of like not so evenly distributed. Y'all didn't hear it, but Lauren just like burped and farted and shitted all at the same
Yeah.
time, you guys.
No, it was really crazy. Her eyes bugged out from how hard she.
But yeah,
squeezed and shit
so
herself.
Kate Bush, Cloud
know.
Busting, it's really fierce. And then in the music video, because the song is through the perspective of the sun, it's like she's dressed up as like a little boy. It's really fierce. It's
Wait,
really, really fierce.
I'd seen that as a child. That would have changed my life. And also, what I was gonna say about the faggy bartender is that Disease came on his playlist, and he immediately skipped it. And I literally almost jumped behind the bar, wrapped my hands around his gay little neck.
Must be a Swiftie.
Yeah,
We
that's
should
the
end this
racist
episode.
one. That's the racist bartender. He doesn't know that he's racist, I don't think, but I do, and I let him know. But he's kind of a blue
He's really short too.
Twinkie. I had a friend be like, "Who is he? He's
Well,
kind of cute," and I was like, "Don't."
And then I can say this because
Racist.
I'm brown too. You can't be that racist and look that brown. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because like, what are we doing? And let me be so real. But before you're gonna clock in to your shift and say some racist shit, maybe you should make sure that you have a photo of your passport on your phone. We'll see you guys next week.
That is terrible. Adrian, we'll see you next week, though.
We as gay people, we get to choose our causes. And as Ladyboys, we are determined to use the platform we have to support the organizations that support us and our tribe.
This week, we're highlighting the Ali Forney Center, whose mission is to protect LGBTQ plus youths from the harms of homelessness and empower them with the tools needed to live independently.
They were founded in 2002 in honor of Ali Forney, an unhoused queer youth who was tragically murdered. In times such as these, it's more important than ever to protect and uplift the most vulnerable of our community.
The 24-hour center not only provides food and shelter, but also rehabilitative resources, like transitional housing and job readiness training.
You can find a link to their donation page in our episode description, so please do your big one if you can. You can even donate directly as a birthday gift, which is great because it helps to recognize the center's youths as individuals.
Ladyboys, rise up.